Imagine walking into a friend's house completely unannounced. No warning, no time for them to tidy up. Yet everything is exactly in its place. The cushions are perfect, the counters are clear, and there is a quiet sense of order. Contrast this with reality. Most of us have dishes stacked in the sink, laundry draped over a chair, or that one notorious drawer holding dead batteries, old takeout menus, and a tangled mess of cables. When you stand in that pristine living room, your first thought is usually, how do they do this? You assume they have endless discipline, extra hours in the day, or simply enjoy scrubbing baseboards. But that assumption misses the real mechanism at play. These people aren't exhausting their willpower to stay tidy. They have shifted to a different psychological approach that changes how they perceive their environment. You've probably tried to replicate it. You spend an entire Sunday scrubbing every surface, promising yourself it will stay this way. By Wednesday, the dishes are back, the mail is piling up, and life has taken over again. After enough of these cycles, it's easy to internalize the failure. You look at the mess and tell yourself you're just a disorganized person. This is a false conclusion. The real issue is that the clutter surrounding you is an active biological drain, quietly sapping your ability to focus, rest, and feel in control of your life. Your nervous system doesn't draw a hard line between your inner mental state and the physical space around you. Environmental psychologists use a term called cognitive load. It measures the amount of background mental effort your brain burns simply existing in a room. There is a psychological phenomenon known as the Zeigarnik effect, which states that humans naturally fixate on uncompleted tasks. Every stray sock, unread envelope, and dirty plate sends tiny, flashing red alerts straight to your visual cortex, registering as unfinished business. A landmark study from Princeton University proved that this physical clutter actively competes for your attention. The researchers found that an unorganized environment overloads your visual system and drains your mental bandwidth. It physically impairs your brain's ability to process information, making you slower and more fatigued throughout the day. Clutter functions as a constant neurological tax, heightening stress and draining energy every hour you spend inside it. Outside your front door, life is completely unpredictable. You have zero control over the economy, the traffic on your commute, or the moods of your coworkers. But your home is entirely within your domain. It is the one environment where you dictate the terms. In clinical psychology, there is a practice called behavioral activation, using physical action to shift an emotional state. When people feel anxious, they often start reorganizing a bookshelf or doing the dishes to discharge that nervous energy. When external stress builds up, wiping down a counter or making a bed stops being a chore. It becomes a direct signal to your nervous system saying, I am in charge here, and things are handled. People who maintain immaculate homes are utilizing this mechanism automatically. When they feel overwhelmed, they reach for a broom. Physical tasks have clear beginnings, middles, and ends. Seeing a newly cleaned sink gives the brain a definitive finish line, turning racing thoughts into a smooth, closed loop. Your space acts as a mirror. Leave it in chaos, and your mind will absorb that static. Keep it ordered, and your mind absorbs the calm. Once you experience the relief of walking into a pristine room after a difficult day, maintaining that order no longer feels like a punishment. It becomes an essential tool for your mental health. Those individuals with spotless apartments aren't obsessed with neatness. They use external order to engineer their own internal peace. If you rely on discipline to keep your space tidy, you will eventually fail. Willpower is a finite resource. You can burn through it, which is exactly why forcing yourself to deep clean the whole house rarely lasts. The secret to a consistently clean home is automation. People who do this every day don't debate whether or not to wash a plate. They simply believe they are the type of person who keeps a clean kitchen. You don't build a new identity by thinking about it. You build it by gathering evidence through repeated small actions. This concept of compounding action was perfectly captured during a viral commencement speech at the University of Texas. Admiral William McRaven told the graduating class that simply making your bed in the morning accomplishes the first task of the day. It creates a completion loop in the brain, generating momentum that drives your productivity until you go to sleep. The goal isn't to force yourself to clean forever, but to do it just long enough that your brain updates its internal picture of who you are, making the habit entirely automatic. To reach that point of automation, you have to shrink the start. Never let a towering pile of dishes or laundry form in the first place, because large tasks trigger avoidance. Pick one small space, a single desk or your bathroom sink, and defend it for 7 days. Attach the maintenance to something you already do, like wiping down the counter while your morning coffee brews. Your living space serves as a physical manifestation of your personal standards. By maintaining it, you communicate a powerful message to your subconscious about the order and care you believe you deserve. The way you treat your surroundings reflects the way you treat your own mind. When you fix your physical space, you provide your nervous system with the clarity it needs to function at its best.